Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss something about, not something but in detail about abbreviations. Okay, if we talk about the definition of abbreviations, so this is a kind of shortened version of a word or phrase. Or an abbreviation is a shortened form of a word or phrase by any method. By any method means there are a lot of methods through which we can shorten the word, we can shorten the phrase, uh, which we will discuss later on in detail. It may consist of a group of letters or words taken from the full version of the word or phrase. For example, the word abbreviation can itself be represented by the abbreviation like ABBR, ABBRV, and ABBREV. Apart from abbreviations, there are also initialisms, acronyms, shortenings or clippings, and contractions. Sorry. Oh, okay. If we talk about the history of the word abbreviation, it is basically a Latin word, and the root word is brevis, means short. You might have heard the word brevity, means conciseness. So, abbreviation, the root word brevis is taken from Latin language, which means short. Okay, I already discussed that there are four types of uh, uh, abbreviations, initialisms, acronyms, shortenings, and contractions. Okay, if we talk about the history of abbreviations, we come to know that they are not new or young. Abbreviations have a long history. They were created to get rid of spelling the whole word. This might be done to save time and space, of course, and also to provide secrecy. In Greece and Rome, the reduction of words to single letters was a common practice. The words in their inscriptions or writings were commonly abbreviated by using the initial letter or letters of words. The initialisms was common practice uh, Greece, in Greece or Rome. Okay, so most of the times we are confused between abbreviations and acronyms. Uh, in fact, acronyms are, along with the other three types which I already mentioned in the previous slide, are uh, types of abbreviations. So there are basically four types of abbreviations, and let's talk about them in detail. So if we talk about initialisms, so formed from the initial letters of the full form. So initialisms is a name or term formed from the initial letters of a group of words. The initial letters of the full form, formed from the initial letters of the full form. So each letter in initialism, we pronounce each letter individually. We have examples FBI. We will not pronounce it like Phoebe, but we will pronounce each letter individually. Federal Bureau of Intelligence. So we have taken F from federal, B from bureau, and I from investigation. So Federal Bureau of Investigation is the initialism of F, Federal Bureau of Investigation. FBI is the initialism of Bureau of Investigation. Sorry. So IBA is the initialism of Institute of Business Administration. IIU International Islamic University is IIU is initialism of International Islamic University. IMF is initialism of International Monetary Fund. Okay, we can also say that these all are abbreviations, but specifically we will say that these are initialisms. Okay, FIA is initialism of Federal Investigation Agency. ASAP, as soon as possible. FAQ, we will not read it fake, but FAQ, frequently asked question. CD, compact disc. Okay, if we talk about the rules for making abbreviations, basically there are two types of rules: rules for capital letters and rules for full stops. Ah, let's talk about the rules for capital letters. If the first letters in the full form are capital letters, then we always write the abbreviation with capital letters. For instance, for instance, in the full form, we always write Federal Investigation Bureau, F capital, B capital, and I capital. We write Federal Bureau of Investigation with capital letters for the first letter of each word, because it is a kind of uh, an official organization. Therefore, we have no choice. We must also write the abbreviated form in capital letters. If we write the abbreviation in small letters, that would be unfair and it would be considered wrong. So, F capital, B capital, and I capital would be correct. Okay. If the full form is not in capital letters, both forms are acceptable, whether you're writing in capital letters or you are writing in small letters. Both forms would be acceptable because this is not a kind of organization. This is just a phrase. So both are acceptable. FAQ in capital letters and FAQ in small letters. Frequently asked questions. Okay, let's talk about now rules for full stops. Full stop is used according to the two mostly dominated Englishes, that is, British English and American English. In British English, we don't use full stops between each letter for initialism. In British English, if we are putting full stops in between letters, then it would be considered incorrect. So, in British English, FBI without full stops is correct, and FBI with full stops is considered incorrect. Correct, incorrect. Okay. So, in American English, using of full stop is not mandatory. You can use both the styles with or without full stops in American English. But usually Americans use this type of abbreviations with full stops. Well, let's talk about let's talk about now acronyms. Acronyms and initialisms are similar in one thing. That is, they both are formed from the initial letters of the full form. But what is the difference? Unlike initialisms, acronyms are pronounced as a single word. In initialism, we were pronouncing each letter individually, but in acronyms, what we are doing, we are pronouncing uh, the abbreviation is a single word. Okay, it is sometimes controversial whether initialisms and acronyms are same things or not, because George Yule, um, in his book The Study of Language, discusses both the terms in the same heading of acronyms. As I said earlier, that we pronounce them, we pronounce acronyms as single words. Let's see these examples. NASA, NASA, looks like a single word. National Aeronautical and Space Administration. NATO, North American Treaty Organization. PIN, Personal Identification Number. RAM, Random Access Memory. SIM, Subscriber Identification Module. ZIP, Zone Improvement Plan. WAPDA, Water and Power Development Authority. NAB, National Accountability Bureau. Okay, guys, so rules are probably uh, similar, except few. Like rules for capital letters are same. Like I said earlier, that if the first letters in the full form are capital letters, then we always write the abbreviation with capital letters. For instance, NATO. Uh, in the full version of this abbreviation, we have we have each word starting with the capital letter. And also NATO is a kind of official organization, therefore we have no choice to write it in small letters. So NATO in capital letters, NATO, is correct, and NATO in small letters is incorrect, because this is a kind of organization, and also the first letters in the full version are capital letters. Okay, so PIN. We all know that PIN is, first of all, PIN is not not a not an official organization, and also PIN uh, PIN, the full version of PIN is starting with the first letters, first small letters. Therefore, we can choose both PIN with capital letters and PIN with small letters. Both forms are correct. Okay, so rules for full stops. You know that we are pronouncing acronyms is a full word. Therefore, we will not use full stops in between the letters. If you are putting full stops in between the letters, then we cannot pronounce it as a single word. Therefore, we write it as pin, not as P full stop I full stop N full stop. Okay, so pin without full stop is correct, and pin with full stops is incorrect.